Bitch! That daggone Lady Mae is a cold bitch. Do you hear me? And that daggone Rochelle Cross, if LaToya Luckett don't get nominated for something, NAACP, Image Award, Daytime Emmy, I don't know what the fuck. But she need to be nominated for something because she is playing the hell out of this. Y'all, this is Greenleaf, season 3 episode. I don't even know. It don't even matter. This daggone Greenleaf, it just don't get no better. This is some... Y'all, let's just go and jump into this thing. I was going to do this review tomorrow. I can't even sit on it. I got to do it tonight because I want to see everybody else's reviews. And I don't like doing my review. I don't like watching other people's reviews till I do mine. So let me go on and put it out there. So we start this episode off, right? Lady Mae's confessing to Pastor Patterson, about the infidelity, you know. And she says, well, look, is Grace Lionel's baby? She said, look, I don't know. The timing add up, but I don't know. You know, I found out that the bishop had cheated on me, and I was going to leave him. But then we had this annual vacation, and Lionel was there. It was supposed to be a fling. I was just trying to get my groove back, and I ended up with a baby. Pastor Patterson said, now look, just when you about to get your breakthrough is when the devil come and snatch you. And she ain't lying. She ain't lying. She said, you got to be honest and you have to come clean because you can't step into your next blessing with these lies on your back. I said, you better preach it. You better preach it, Patty. So that's where that started, right? Then we got Gigi over here trying to convince the bishop who Rochelle is and that Rochelle means him no good. And that damn bishop just can't. Now his ego's caught up, right? Because he know what she's saying is right. But his ego won't let him accept it. Well, why would she do all of this for us if it was all for nothing? I mean, why would she help me? Because she ain't really helping you, boo. Ain't nothing she did was out of the goodness of her heart. It was all some bullshit. Now, while this is going, just as he's telling Grace all the things that he did for her and all the wonderful things that Rochelle done did for the church, here come the FBI. Honey, the FBI said we got a warrant. There's some shenanigans going on over here and we need to get these files. They come up in there about 50 deep. I mean, it was more FBI there raiding damn Calvary than I done seen raiding the crack house. Right? So, over to the Triumph, here come the FBI in there too. Same thing. They got the agents. They coming through. They say we got some warrants and some shenanigans going on over here. And just as that's going on, they said, well, do you have an accountant? The accountant shows up. The accountant said, ooh, I'm so glad you're here because it is some shady shit going on up here. Let me show you. So, see, the accountant, he ain't been there long enough. He think that they doing it. He think they stealing money. Now, why in the world would you hire an accountant when you stealing money and the trail was that obvious? I mean, it wasn't even like they tried to hide the trail. So, back over to Calvary. Lady Mae and Sister Patterson are sitting down to an interview talking about the day with Lady Mae and talking about how wonderful it's going to be and talking about how all these, all this beautifulness was going to happen and it's the year of the woman and all this great stuff. And so the lady that's interviewing them says, and will your daughter be there? And Mae says, well, yes, Charity's going to sing. She said, oh, no. I mean your other daughter, the pastor. Is she going to speak? Because, she's the future. So, Lady Mae wasn't trying to hear that. Lady Mae said, no. And then Sister Patterson tried to soften it up a little bit and said, well, maybe. Lady Mae gave her that look like, no. Well, while this going on, here come the FBI, honey. At the most inopportune moment, the FBI shows up with their warrants. So, Lady Mae, of course, she goes running out and she yelling at everybody. She's being fucking Lady Mae. You know how she get, when she get to yelling at everybody and she get the... they season all the computers, and of course all the information for David Lady Mae is on the computers. Charity's upset because all her music arrangements is on the computers. Lady Mae trying to fight Bishop on the phone with the lawyer. Lady Mae trying to fight Bishop in the hallway. Bishop said, will you calm the fuck down? Well, he didn't say that. I'm saying that. But he was like, will you calm down? I got this. I'm taking care of it. She said, you don't have nothing. That's why we in this mess, because you don't have nothing. She said, I couldn't divorce you fast enough. She told the FBI agent, she said, look, I'm no longer the first lady. He said, you must be the first lady. She said, no, I'm the pastor. She said, I'm not even married to him anymore. He said, oh, but your name is on the warrant. Honey, it was a mess. She yelled at Gigi. Then she went to Charity. Charity is going, Charity's being Charity. Oh, Mama, my arrangements are on that computer. I didn't back them up. I know I should have, but she said, look, you just be quiet. She said, I don't need your theatrics right now. I don't need you making this all about you. She said, for once, Charity, could you figure this out on your own? Could you just find some way to be useful? I said, Lady Mae is a cold bitch. She is cold. So, now Charity gets it in her mind. That she said, okay, fine, I'm going to be helpful. Let me figure out a way to be helpful. So she goes to the FBI agent and she gives him this story. She was very convincing because I almost believed it for a minute. And she said, a few years back, I wanted to be an actress. And I took these pictures. And they weren't too bad. But, I'm a PK. And, the thing about PKs, it's true. We get into a lot of shenanigans. She said, my mother paid him off and it went away, but the pictures are on the computer. He said, they're on your computer? She said, no, they're on my mother's computer. She said, so if you could just give me 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, so I can just delete that so that the whole world don't see me. And he's nice too. He's a nice looking FBI agent. He said, look, I got to talk to my supervisor. She said, okay, thank you so much. I pray so much. She even threw a little flirty in there. I said, okay, Charity, I see you trying to work it. Grace gets on the phone and calls the attorney. The attorney he had got for Norma Ray last week, Ellie Mae, Lula Jane, I don't know, little girl. The little murderess, as Lady Mae would call her, the murderess. She said, look, how fast can you get to Calvary? Because we need some help. So he gets over there, he sits down, he got Jacob, he got Grace, he's got Bishop. And basically, to make a long story short, what had happened was, when Tasha opened up those accounts, they took the money out of those accounts and put them into another account that made it look like Jacob gave the money to Bishop for Bishop to pay the IRS. And so the IRS is basically like, look, you can't pay off a tax debt with stolen money. No brainer, right? But it would seem to me that the trail was so easy. Anyway, it was an easy trail for them to follow. So Lady Mae is talking to Sister Patterson, and Sister Patterson is like, what is going on around here? And she's explaining to her the situation and everything. And she said, but have you talked to Grace yet? And she said, I ain't talking to, what are you talking about? She said, look, now let me say this though about this whole situation with the Lionel Grace situation. Let me say this. That's some selfish shit on the side of Lionel. You trying to clear your conscience before you die. And so you about to die. You about to create this whole nest of worms for everybody else to deal with. And you're not even going to be here to dissect it. You want to screw up your son, Grace, the Lady Mae, and the Bishop. And that's just the immediate people. The rest of the family is going to be affected too. The church is going to be affected. Like, even if everything was going perfect at Calvary right now, that would implode the whole church. You know what I'm saying? And to me, some things you just got to sit on. Some things you just got to die with and pray for forgiveness on the other side. I'm sorry. Lionel, you being real selfish with this one. But I digress. I just had to say that. Okay, so then here come Darius' ass showing up. Now, Darius is showing up talking about I promised you that I wouldn't write a story about Calvary, but it's going to get written. And Grace is pissed off about it. And I understand where Grace is coming from, but at the end of the day, he still got to do his job. Like, this is a big story. You can't help but know that this is a huge situation, right? This is a big story. So Lady Mae finally decides, Pastor Patterson told her, you got to go tell her what's going on. You got to tell her before Lionel tell her. Like, this is, and she said, and again, you can't run a church on lies. Like, you can't stand in front of people every Sunday telling them to do this and don't be a sinner and da 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 da, and you sitting on lies. She said, plus at the end of the day, what you don't want is somebody to be able to hold something over you. You don't want it to hit you when you least expect it, which is what these types of things would do. That's a big ass lie. I mean, that's a big ass lie. So she goes to talk to Grace. Grace isn't there because Grace done left the church. She gone to go confront Rochelle. We'll get there in a second. So Jacob decides to call Tasha. Now, here's what's funny about this phone call. Jacob is talking to Tasha. Now, if Tasha had been there by herself, she'd have broke. That's how I knew Tasha wasn't there by herself, because you see Tasha, and then the camera slowly pans around, and you see Basie sitting there, and then come to find out Rochelle there too. And basically, Jacob is like, look, Tasha, I need you to come down here and talk to the FBI. I need you to let them know that I didn't open up these accounts, and I really need you to clear this up for me. Like, and he's giving her the old sexy voice, the old, come on now, you know what we've been through. So Basie is coaching Tasha on the phone, talking about something. Tell him you can't help him. Tell him you don't know nothing. And then you got Carissa coaching Jacob on the other side. She talking about something. Tell her you love her. Now see, again, that would have worked had she been by herself. But what you did was you made the situation worse. Because the minute Basie heard, because Jacob said it, the minute Basie heard that shit, honey, he done hung up that damn phone so quick. And Rochelle was like, I told your ass. I told you. So, of course, now Basie, he got a battery in his back because now he all mad. And he going to talk about I was out here just living in flop houses from night to night, just trying to stay alive, praying for God to bring you in my dreams because I didn't want to, because I missed you so much, and you out here doing what you doing. You done found somebody already. That was quick. She said, first of all, nothing happened. But even if something did happen, you had me thinking you were dead. He said, I was trying to protect you. So if somebody came around looking, you could be honest, and you didn't know nothing. He said, but what I see is, he said, I was thinking it would only be a couple of months. She can't find nobody that fast, but I see I was wrong. Bitch, please. Anyway, so then here goes Zora and this daggone Isaiah. Let me tell you something. I'm so sick of Zora and Isaiah. I understand. I kind of want to see what's going on, but then I kind of don't because I'm sick of it. Zora knows she in a fucked up situation. Zora just don't know how to get out of it. They supposed to be going to the studio, and he talking about oh, baby, you look so bored at the studio. Why don't you stay home? Now, you know good and well what that meant. That meant he was meeting somebody at the damn studio. That's exactly what that meant. So he going to give her some money talking about go get your nails done. She said, I always go to the studio with you, but you look like you just bored. Like, she's like, I'm never bored when I'm with you. What are you talking about? So she know what's up. Zora ain't stupid. Zora dumb in love, but she ain't dumb. She knew what the hell that was about. So then, I'm just going to go on and finish Zora up because I ain't got time for Zora. So later on, we see that Sophia sees on Snapchat. This is how you know Isaiah really don't give a damn, because he's cheating on her and he's allowing it on social media, knowing good and damn well everybody's going to see it. Like, duh. So Sophia sees it on Snapchat that he's in the studio with this woman and they all bund up on each other and she calling him baby and everything. So she hits Zora with have you seen this? And sends her, Snapchat. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, anyway. So Zora sees it. So he comes home later that night. Zora confronts him about it, right? And y'all know he sweet talks her. He hits her with the old, you my first lady. That's just a bird. They set up a meet and greet. That's why I want you to be there. I knew it was going to be real busy. He going to say, I knew it was going to be packed. And you know how that AC be tripping. Really, nigga? Really? Really, bitch? So then, later on that night, so he sweet talks her. They get to kiss it and So later on that night, she's on the social media again, and she sees more pictures of him and this girl. Zora know what's up. Zora just don't know how to get out of it yet. Like I said last week, she doesn't know how to come back because she doesn't want the I told you so's, right? But sometimes you just got to take it. Sometimes you just got to walk in with your head held high and say, y'all told me, I fucked up. I still love y'all. Y'all still love me? All right, cool. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I know what your mama told you, But what your mama was saying was, as long as you are going to choose him, then I can't do this. But if you come back and you are truly done with him and you really want to start over, Zora, they'll take you back, girl. That ain't no thing. That's nothing. So now we got, what's my girl? Gigi confronting Rochelle. Gigi said, look, bitch, I know what you did. I know you didn't set my father up. You didn't set us up. I know who you are. And she was like, so what does that mean? And here's what I love. Rochelle didn't see that comment. She didn't know that they had figured out who she was, but she ain't break story. Do you hear me? She didn't even blink. If I didn't know, I would believe her. She said, so what does that mean? Does that mean that, so what? Because of who I'm related to, that means that I haven't been. She said, you know what? I'm sick of your little PTSD ass. I've been putting up with it out of respect for your father and for what we trying to build. But I'm tired of this shit. She said, just last night we were laying in bed after we made love. She said, she said, Grace, I might, and I'm trying to be a part of your life. Me and your father may get married, and I know I'll never be your mother, but I really hope we could be sisters. Rochelle said, what? She said, you are lying. You did not sleep with my father. She was like, what are you talking about? Yes, I did. Oh, yes, honey. And didn't blink, honey. Did not break story. Do you hear me? Whew. It's a mess. It was a lot. This episode was all... Okay, I'm going to just keep going. So, I ain't going to go back and forth with the whole Basie and Tasha thing. Like I said, Basie, he telling her... I already told y'all all that piece. But, of course, now Tasha is scared. Because, and I'm telling y'all, Tasha ass is... If Tasha ass is going to end up in a creek somewhere, I'm telling y'all. Because she's the only person at this point... She's the weak link, and they know she's a weak link. Now, Basie knows that she's scared of him, but what Basie does not know, she's a wild card. You know what I'm saying? Her ass gonna end up dead somewhere. One or the other. Either she gonna end up dead, or she's gonna end up being the person that helps them out. However it works out. So she calls Jacob. And tells him, now see, what she should have done, because he was on the phone, what she should have done was said, Jacob, you were right, it's a setup, watch your back, can we meet? That's what she should have done. Gave him a little something, but she calls him and says, let's meet up, I'm scared. So she says, I'll text you the place later. Well, of course, y'all know when Jacob get to the place, it was a setup, right? Basie was there, and Basie was basically like, so what's up? What did you do with my wife? And see, again, sometimes you just gotta lie. Why Jacob talking about something? It was just a kiss. Look, let me tell you something. I'd have been like, I didn't do nothing with your wife. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, me and your wife became really good friends. Maybe she thought that... Well, now I don't know if I would have put it on her either. But neither here nor there, I wouldn't have admitted shit. I would have been like, ain't nothing happened with your wife. What you talking about? Well, I heard you earlier say that you love her. I do love her. I love you too, brother. You know what I'm saying? That's how I would have rolled with that. Ain't no way in hell I would have admitted nothing. But here go Jacob. It was just a kiss, brother. He said, I ain't your brother. What the fuck? So then he... basically he lets Jacob know, Jacob's like, it was nothing. He said, what's funny? One man's nothing is another man's everything. I said, oh, shit. Oh, it's nasty. And so after he got finished basically putting Jacob on notice and letting Jacob know that he know what's up. And then he told him, and don't bother Paige and Tasha no more, because I got her phone. I said, oh. Tasha gonna die. Tasha gonna die. It don't look good for her. So, back over to Calvary. Gigi's secretary lets her know that her mother was looking for her. So, just as Gigi's heading over to see her mother, Lady Mae gets a phone call from Jeffrey. That's Lionel's son. And Jeffrey says, she said, oh, Jeffrey, I've been meaning to call your father back. He said, my father's passed. She said, what happened? He said they put him on some new cancer, some chemo, and his body just couldn't handle it, and he passed away. Oh, I'm so sorry. Honey, y'all know that was she wanted to laugh and do a jig. I ain't lying. She probably wanted to shout right there in her office. So Gigi rolls up on her, and Gigi's like, you came out my office, you wanted to see me. So now Lady May is like, I ain't got nothing to say. She had to play it off, talking about something. I apologize for earlier today. You know, I was just real riled up with everything going on. Gigi was like, yeah, me too. I think everybody was a little upset. Because, you know, Lady May don't apologize, and she damn sure don't apologize to Gigi. So for her to be sitting there apologizing for something, honey, that just was some shit Gigi wasn't ready for. Gigi, even Carissa was sitting, I mean, what's the baby name, her assistant. Even she was sitting there looking like. So Gigi leaves there. Gigi looking crazy, but she leaves there, and she goes and confronts her father. She said, look, I need the truth. He said, always. She said, did you sleep with Rochelle last night? He said, what? No. She said, well, that's what she just told me. She told me that y'all slept together and y'all planning this life together. He said, look, okay, I'm going to go put the end to this right now. So he's going to go off to confront Rochelle. So Lady May walks up on Pastor Patterson, and she's singing, doing her little sound check, and she doing her Patty thing, you know. And Lady May's all happy, and she's all, yes, you know. And Pastor Patterson said, well, did you tell Gigi? You happy? You got it off your chest? She said, I ain't tell Gigi nothing. She said, Lionel is dead. I don't have to say nothing. Patterson said, no. You still have to come clean. You've got to be honest. She said, because stuff like this has a way of just coming back and getting you. She said, you can't do this. You can't sit on it. And she keeps coming to her from a spiritual place, from a biblical. She ain't coming at her from a, you just got to do the right thing. She's letting her know, look, you need to clear the air, because if not, you are setting yourself up for a huge fall, because that's how the devil gets you. You know, you're going to be pastoring in front of this church. She's like, if I do all this work to get you this church, and this is hanging over your back, and it's going to be gone before you get it. So, of course, you know, Lady May is like, damn, you know, I ain't really trying to do this. She probably wish she never told Patterson about the whole situation. So then, once Gigi leaves with her father, she goes back to her office. She's packing up her bag and everything. Here comes Jeffrey. Jeffrey looking shell-shocked, right? Now, we know Jeffrey, Daddy just died, but it was a little bit more to it, right? He goes in to talk to Grace. He tells Grace that his father died, and Grace is like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She said, take a seat. You know, can we, let's talk or whatever. And, you know, he's like, yeah, can we just talk? She said, anything, you know. She's just trying to be there for him. You know, your father just died. He's a friend. You've known him your whole life kind of thing, right? He said, Gigi, we need to talk. And then that kind of cuts away. So the FBI agent then came back to Charity, right? Charity was on the phone saying, I don't know if he's going to come back or not. He said he was going to check with the supervisor, and I ain't seen him since. So the FBI agent, he comes back. He got the laptop. He said, you know, I talked to my supervisor. Come to find out, if any files that are not related to the case, you can have access to them. She said, oh, thank you so much. He said, but I've got to verify your story. I'm going to have to see those pictures. And I'm thinking, this little pervert ass. She said, what? He said, I'm going to have to verify your story. I need to see the pictures. She said, so you're going to see the pictures? He said, yeah. Charity said, look, it ain't no damn pictures. He said, I know. He said, now let's find out what it is you really wanted off this computer. So Charity gets, because Lady May been stressing out about her sermon, her PowerPoint, all this stuff that was on the computer. So Charity gets it for her, puts it on a flash drive, and she takes it over to her and says, here, is this useful enough for you? And rolls out, honey. And Lady May looking stupid. And still didn't say she was sorry. And damn sure didn't say thank you. I said, Lady May is a cold bitch. Do you hear me? She is cold as ice. So, then we see, all right, we went through all of that. Because I'm a little out of order now. All right, I think we had the grand finale. So, Bishop goes to confront Rochelle. Again, she ain't breaking story. She is still insisting that they slept together last night. And he like, you, and she hitting him with the, you don't believe me? No, you don't remember? She said, maybe you had too much to drink. Because I don't, she might be thinking he wired or something. And she damn sure don't admit to investing no money for him. She's talking about something, I don't mix business with pleasure. What are you talking about? And she's just, she is playing, y'all, I'm telling y'all, you know how you tell a lie so much you start to believe it? Excuse me, that's how she's talking. She is like, we did sleep together last night. You don't remember? She said, what are you talking about? He said, is Basie your brother? She said, yeah. Yeah, that's my brother. She said, so he said, so all of this was a setup. She said, what are you talking about? No. She said, I know you didn't kill my father. My father was a maintenance man in a church. You just couldn't afford the upkeep on. Do you think you killed my father? So Bishop was like, you know what? Okay, you got me. He was like, you got me. But you're not going to get away with it. He walks out the office. Honey, Rochelle said, bitch, I already did. But she ain't get away with it. Nope, she did not. I'm telling y'all, them daggone Greenleafs, they gonna come back together and then they go. So, last but not least, Lady Mae is sitting in the sanctuary looking at her PowerPoint, getting ready for her day with Lady Mae. And Grace comes in there. And Lady Mae must have had some sort of intuition that something was up with Grace, because she starts talking about forgiveness. Because they talk about Lionel. And, Lady Mae said, in the midst of everything that's going on, you think your life is so bad, and then something like this happens, and somebody loses their life, and you realize how blessed you are, and how everything else is just a blurb, And then she starts talking about forgiveness, and how you just got to forgive people. She said, well, I'm going home now. So as she getting ready to walk out, Grace says, is Lionel my father? Honey? Lady Mae turns around. She says, I don't know. And proceeds to walk out the church. I said, this is a cold bitch. That's cold. That is cold, y'all. But anyway, that's where the episode ends. This was a good-ass episode. It made me stay up past my bedtime just to do this review for y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.